I had the chance to see some of your short work. Gap, you tackle stereotyping, demonstration that intelligence exists in many ways. Street smarts, specifically conforming to groups.
Right.
With Locks, it's about empathy, putting yourself in another person's shoes. Very important to heal any situation. Right. And with Fig, you posit a family in extreme social conditions. Kind of matches what you did with your first feature here. So the first thing I'm thinking is that Ryan is a type of filmmaker that's socially engaged, and that this is perhaps his calling. You're going to merge art, social causes, but that point of view. Am I correct with that assertion? Is that the type of cinema that you're attracted to? Is that the type of narratives that you're attracted to? Like, does that describe you well?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll always try to do things that have, that have some kind of context that'll make people think or about things that are happening in society, or make people talk about things that happen in society, or help open people's eyes to a perspective that they might not know. Mm-hmm. He's always interested in characters that operate on the fringes of society and don't have a lot of representation in cinema. You know what I mean? That was one of those things when you come up as a kid, especially.
You need to see stories like that depicted.
Exactly. It's just a strong desire to see
see your reality, other people's realities.
Right.
And when I was reflecting on the film afterwards, I'd forgotten that you're implicated on a very grassroots level. I'm not talking about cinema, but you're a youth counselor, I believe, or something like that. So it's almost like a natural extension of you in that sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I work at Juvenile Hall in San Francisco.
Okay.
As a youth guidance counselor there. Yeah.
So what is their reaction when they see that you're committed not only on a very basic level, but that they want to express a lot of people's stories? How do people? What's that rapport with you? How do they see you? Especially maybe not yesterday, but as of 2 days ago, you're going to become a different type of figure, a different type of community person.
Yeah,
are they already aware of that?
You talking about the kids?
Exactly.
Man, it's funny because I often show them my movies, man. They always want to see them, man. We talk about stuff like that all the time. I'm anxious to show them Fruitvale, because I haven't been back to work for like a year since I've been making this film. But like the kids, man, it's pretty much, the kids are in jail, you know what I mean? So what they got is books and movies when they're not going to class or doing the programs there. So it's great, man. Like a lot of them always call up to me, man. You make a movie about this, you make a movie about that. You know what I mean? And what's next? It was funny because when we were shooting one day in San Francisco on one of the work stations, I saw one of my kids. You know what I mean? Who had been released. He was like, cool, man. What's happening? What you got going on here? He saw all the people around and everything, and it was cool with him because he could hang out a little bit, kind of see what we had going on. A lot of them have crazy, interesting perspectives. Like very artistically talented, drawing and music.
It's a way to
math, science. You know what I mean? But they got so much going on.
Yeah, and they're missing peers. They're missing role models and stuff.
I mean, more than that, man. Pretty much every kid that comes through there is like a product of society's flaws, man. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like oftentimes a product of stuff they can't even control.
So let's talk about Oscar Grant. He was very much a product of this type of society.
Yeah,
and lost opportunities, great opportunities, and I think he made the most and did the best that he could. I wasn't aware of Oscar before the film, and my first question is how did you process before you met with the family? Because you met with the family before even considering going to make a film about it. How was it perceived in the media? What was your reaction to Oscar before you even conceived the idea of making a film about Oscar?
I wanted to know more.
You were just generally interested.
Yeah, like when you saw. I mean, for me, mean, and anybody like me, like anybody from the Bay Area, like young African American male, I saw that tape. Like we know it's more to his story, you know what I mean? Because he was like us, he looked like us, you know what I mean? We know that there's more to that story. People that don't have that perspective or are familiar with that perspective, they don't know that there's more to that story. You know what I mean? All they see is that, and whatever assumptions that they make about somebody that looks like that.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of stops there. So I knew it was more to that story. I know he had a mind. You know what I'm saying? I knew he had a family and people that cared about him. I know he was more than what was being said about him. You know what I mean? Like I know there was more there. So and I think that what makes things like that less tragic is that you don't know. Like if you see on the news that somebody died and you didn't know them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's a statistic. It's
not a person.
It's a headline.
It's
Exactly.
It's not a human being that died. It's a bit of information.
But when you were casting a lead, what were you looking for specifically? You perhaps had the same frame. I don't know. I've never seen Oscar in real life, but the actor that you chose has a charisma that I mean, this is why the audiences fall in love with your film, is because they have a strong character that we care for. He does bad things, he does good things, but essentially there's that charisma right there. What were you looking for in the casting process?
Yeah, it's funny because I when I decided to write the script, and I started working on the script before I talked to the family. Actually, you know, I started working on it.
Okay.
You know, just because I like to write. You know what I mean? And I got access to all of the available public information about the court cases. You know, that recounted the events and depositions.
You came up with a treatment and outline.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and then as I was doing that, I talked to his family.
Okay.
And got more information from them. But they were still. They told me more information about that day. But they were still a little. I told them I was working on the script. Yeah. They were still a little unsure about me. Yeah, like you know. And they were like, "It's cool to keep working on the script. We're not giving you the rights."
Okay.
Yeah, until we talk more.
So the more you found out about his private life, the more you were able to create an idea of what that actor has to embody. Is what you're saying.
Exactly. For me, I always knew that the actor would have to be really good because it's a film where he's on the screen 95% of the movie.
Yeah.
You know. Often by itself, not doing much of anything. You know what I mean? It's very much a day in the life. So I knew you had to have that quality there to make people watch. And the other thing is that, like, I got to direct from a place of truth, and from where I'm from, Oscar's face is everywhere. You know what I mean? We all know what he looked like. He had this big, huge, incredible smile, and you can kind of tell just from every picture of him and from every story that you hear about him that he was incredibly. Charming.
Yeah,
you know
charming,
what I mean?
sociably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what you learn about is people either loved him or they hated him. You know what I mean? Like that's what his friends will tell you.
Okay.
And most people loved him. You know what I mean?
And
he had people that didn't like him at all. You know what I mean? Most people loved him. You know what I mean? He was one kind of person that would come in and light up a room.
Yeah.
He was the kind of person that would light up Farmer Joe's and he was there. You know what I mean? That's the kind of stories about
So
him.
what tests did you put your lead actor through in the casting process?
Well, yeah, I never had one. I never had a casting process. I knew it was Mike. Like,
okay, from the
jump, like I kind of looked at what actors were around.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I kind of looked at.
Okay.
I watch a lot of movies.
Okay.
You know, Mike looks a lot like Oscar. It's kind of uncanny.
Okay.
He's pretty much the same age as Oscar would be if Oscar was still alive today.
So tell me about that first contact with him then.
Yeah. Well, the first I wanted to get the script in the best place possible.
Okay.
And so as soon as I came out of the labs. I met with him. I knew it was right. Because I mean, Mike has that quality that Oscar had.
Okay.
That quality that you kind of.
Yeah, it's an innate thing.
It's an innate thing that you kind of drawn to him. You kind of care about him. People either have it or they don't.
Yeah.
You know.
So for you, it was very simple. It was very easy to put him on screen.
It was easy. He looks so much like Oscar. You know what I mean? That it was pretty. It was easy. As soon as we got him in that costume, got a little bit of weight on him, and got him like acclimating with Bay Area culture. It was a done deal.
A really interesting visual choice. You did the inclusion of his text messages. Chiefly, it's to establish his timeline throughout that day, because it is almost a 24 hours thing, with the exception of one sequence. But it affirms the connections that he has in life with four important female figures in his life, which is his daughter, his wife, or his girlfriend, his grandmother, and his mother. And I thought that was a really interesting choice. How did that creep into the script or maybe the filmmaking process? How did you go about deciding to include that?
I love to speak to that. It was kind of a child of a lot of things. Like I knew the style that I wanted to make the film in. Like that was something that was in the script from the jump.
Yeah, it was a chronological timeline.
That the text message,
okay.
That the text message would be seen on the screen like
that.
Okay. Because the style of filmmaking I wanted to use, specifically at the beginning of the day, is to use as few cuts as possible.
Okay.
You know, like I wanted just to really. I wanted the camera to kind of sit, and I wanted to kind of really like
be in those shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Really be able to gaze around the frame and kind of feel like we're sitting there with this character.
Yeah.
Because I wanted the film to feel like we just kind of you know, you hang out with a friend.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
A day.
Downtime exists, and in film we tend to neglect that.
Exactly. And what I didn't want to do, I knew what he would do with his. I come back to cell phones, but I knew what he would do with his cell phone would be important. You know what I mean? But I didn't want to cut in. You know, I don't want to be cutting into a cell phone every 5 minutes.
Yeah, distraction for nothing.
Exactly. So I figured we'll compose the messages, you know, right on screen.
Was this based on actual text messages?
They were.
Okay.
Yeah, they were. You know,
the family provided you with this information?
Yeah, what they told me. Like, okay. I got a text from you right after midnight.
Okay,
Happy
obviously
birthday.
everybody.
Yeah, I got you know, you text me to see if you wanted to come hang out with me on my lunch break, things like that.
It says a lot about who Oscar was, though. And that family was, as much as it was a strain from at times, that it was the only thing that counted for him.
Right.
And he made choices based on that.
And I think it says a lot about us as well. Like, because I mean, this cell phone is a big motif in this film for me. Always was. I mean, had this happened in the year 2000. I wouldn't be making this movie.
Of course not.
Because phones didn't have video cameras yet.
Yes.
And it would have been the cops' word against people who saw his word, and the case never really even happened. You know what I mean? Oscar just be dead.
Yeah.
You know, and no video of it.
Yeah.
You know, and the cop would still have his job.
Yeah.
It was a sign of like where we were like in 2008 that we were connecting through cell phones all the time, text messages, and these things are supposed to bring us closer together. But if you look at it, Oscar only saw his mom once in person on that day. You know, he called her, talked to her on the phone.
Yeah.
You know, text messages. You know what I mean? Text messages so fit, but he didn't see him though.
Yeah.
He didn't touch him. You know what I mean? I was his way of connecting.
Yeah.
And it's got even worse. In 2012, we text messages all the time.
All
you know
the
what I
time.
mean? It's text messages. I'll text message somebody I'm sitting right next to sometimes. You know,
it's bad. It's gotten really bad.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
So I figured it was an opportunity to kind of capture that. You know, and there's a big motif in the film.
Going back to I'll call it an action sequence. It's not action. It's high drama, and it takes place on the transportation system, right? That's where
platform.
Yeah, the platform. And I was wondering, getting the rights for something like that must have been difficult because of the situation. I don't know. How do the establishment in San Francisco? How did they perceive this incident? Do they just want to throw it away and pretend it doesn't exist? And therefore, how come you got access to it if that were the case?
Well, they don't. They don't want to just throw it away.
Okay, good.
I mean, they're very conflicted over it. You know, as an organization,
yeah.
It's arguably the worst thing that's ever happened in the history of the organization.
Yeah.
It was very problematic for them. You know, very traumatizing. I mean, nowhere near as traumatizing as it was for Oscar's family. You know
of course,
what I mean?
Of course.
But you know, it affected them as well. So, you know, they treated us pretty much like any other movie coming in. It wasn't like, hey, we're not gonna let you make this,
okay,
or hey, we're gonna let you make this easy.
Okay.
You know, but there definitely was a long, drawn out process of them trying to figure out
what your intentions are as an
artist.
artist.
Who I was,
as the production.
Who I was and what our intentions were with the film. And once they saw that our intentions were to tell Oscar's story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And our film, you know, that what happens on the word sequence is like it's like 10 minutes of a 90-minute movie.
Yeah.
You know, so they eventually opened up to us. You know, out of respect for what we were trying to do, out of respect for Oscar's family. You know.
There's a scene I question as a filmmaker, as a film viewer. There's one where there's a dog involved, and I was thinking, I think Ryan probably inserted that. I don't think it's based on fact, and I think he did that for symbolic reasons. There's a lot of blood on people's hands, and there's blood on his T-shirt. And I was wondering what's the backstory to that specific sequence.
Right.
Is it an artistic decision, or was it part of his actual day?
Yeah. So that sequence is actually a combination of a few things that we heard about Oscar.
Okay. So you want to bring out qualities of Oscar in a sequence like that, is what I'm getting. Okay.
Exactly. Yes. So there were some scenes that were composite scenes.
Yeah.
Some characters that were composites, and others that were pretty much verbatim to what happened. And Oscar, it was funny because Oscar was living in an apartment at the time, and he wanted a dog. You know what I mean? You always talk about how he wanted to get a pit bull. We gonna move out to a better place.
Okay.
We get a pit bull, and in the Bay, like pit bulls are kind of like everybody has, man. You see them everywhere. You know what I mean? Like all the time.
Okay.
You know? And you see stray ones. You know what I'm saying? You see people walking around with them. It's kind of like.
So
if the Bay Area had an animal, you know what I'm saying?
That would be the mascot.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
The high drama sequences. Your DP was Rochelle Morrison from Sound of My Voice. I wanted to know the design.
She's amazing, by the way.
She's an up and coming DP. She's got a great eye, and that before New Year's hits. And the quality of being able to capture that energy, and the portion where it is the last moments of his life, I thought it was just handled with so much authenticity, and so much you feel strained as an audience member. That's how I was. How you went about mapping that out. How difficult was that for you?
This is the platform scene you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, it was very difficult. So what happened with the platform scenes is that we had 4 hours to shoot them.
Okay.
Over the course of 3 days. So we had 3 4-hour days.
Okay.
And the reason that was like that is because work, they won't stop running.
Of course.
You know, they gotta get people to work. You know. Yeah. And
there's a lot of extras in this scene. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of crowd control.
Yeah. So I mean, like really. What we did was, I used to play football. I played college football. You know, I played football my whole life. So what Rachel, me, and our AD, Antonio Grania did.
Okay.
I built up a play sheet basically.
Okay.
A shot list, a big play card, like you see football, like you see American football coaches hold.
Yeah.
Color coordinated for which direction we were going. You know, and what we would do is we would bring the key characters in a little early, and we'll kind of go through. You know what I mean? Our beats.
Yeah.
What happens? You know, we talk through everything. Talk through our stunts.
Yeah.
And as soon as 1 in the morning it hits, man, it was like a football game. Like everybody rushed up, knew their positions. The train would come in, and then we'll rock out, and we'll go till the sun came up. So for about 4 hours. So
it was rehearsed as if it were a football practice and maybe an NFL Super Bowl game. Well, kudos to you on that scene, because it really is jarring, and it really hits home. The climax, that's the film's climax, but there's a little bit more to it, and I won't spoil it here. But there's also an insert at the end of the film, which I thought that the film didn't take a political angle. It didn't politicize the film. It was a commentary about this person, and a very strong one, and I think everybody can relate to this guy. But at the end of the film, you did insert a docu element, and I'd like to get your reasons for doing that. Or was this your way of making a political statement when 97% of the film wasn't about that?
No, it's actually neither.
Okay.
What it really was to show that Oscar still lives on. And it was a way to bookend the film. The film starts with real footage from New Year's Day.
Yes.
At Fruitvale Bar Station. And the film ends with real footage from New Year's Day at Fruitvale Bar Station 4 years later. And to show that people didn't just forget Oscar in the Bay Area. You know what I mean? They still remember him. They still come to that same place, and they still meet. And also to show that the person who was most affected by this whole thing is still here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Still here, still breathing, still strong.
Yeah.
But still very much affected. You know, so that was why it was there. It was not out of a sense of not for a political statement.
Okay. Okay.
Not to honor the family.
Okay.
But to show that. Really, to honor, more so to honor the Bay Area in the community, to show that they didn't forget about Oscar. You know what I mean?
I think as a first feature, Fruitvale, you do that with Fruitvale. You do it with a lot of intelligence, and so congratulations on your first feature film, Ryan. And
Thanks so much.
We'll be hearing a lot about you, I think, throughout the course of this year. And